Hi there. I just got this new card in the mail. For those of you who are new to mining and not quite sure how the hardware and stuff plugs in, I remember when I first started, which wasn't that long ago, it was about a year ago or so, and I got all this stuff and it was like, where do these things go? How does it... I didn't even know how to turn on the motherboard. When somebody told me that I had to jump the motherboard, I thought, I don't know if that sounds like it's a bad idea. But turns out that's how you start a motherboard. But this card's going to get plugged in today. So you'll need to plug in a card. You'll need a card. You'll need a couple of lengths of connectors, a riser cable, and a rig to plug it into. I'm using Hive, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go into Hive, and you're going to want to turn off the rig. You can do that. There's all these buttons up here. To turn the rig off, you go to Miner Actions, because it's an action to your miner. You go to Stop Miner. Here you can see that it sends the command to stop. It's quitting. Then it stops. So now that the miner is stopped, the next thing that you're going to want to do, this will all, I'll refresh it right now to show you, but this will all go to 0 here in a second. There we go. Okay, so here we are with these all turned off. So now we want to turn the rig itself off. Come over here. And the power supply, I know this is dark, but you want to turn the power supply off. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to turn this power supply off. And I've got a second power supply over here. And we're going to turn that power supply off. There's a button on the board. Boom. Now the rig's completely off. Now the next thing that you're going to want to do is unplug it. So over here I've got a couple of plugs. Those are my two plugs for the rig. I'm going to unplug those now. Okay, before I plug it into the rig, I'm going to show you how it all goes out here so that it's less confusing for you. And I apologize that I don't have very good lighting. My lamp just broke today, so I don't have very good lighting. And my battery on my phone's about to die, so the light on that isn't very good. Well, it isn't very good. It doesn't work at all. Okay, so we got two cords, right? This end right here is going to be plugged in to the power supply. And this end here is going to plug into this 3-strand cord, like that. So then we've got this plugged into the power supply, plugged into this 3-strand cord here, and I believe this is 16 gauge wire. It's very, very important that you use the right wires, the right gauge, the right types, or else you could literally set your house on fire and get people killed. You need to make sure that you're not skimping on your wiring. You can skimp on anything else, but when it comes to wiring, these things are running all the time. They're using a lot of wattage. Make sure that you're getting your wires right. Okay, so we've got these 3 plugs here, and these 3 plugs will be shared between the riser plug here, and here's the GPU plugs. Now this here is a 6+2 cable. You see how it's got 8 there? It's because it's 6 plus 2. And I just took that off because we've got an 8-pin here, and then this is a 6-pin. So there we have that, the 8-pin and the 6-pin plugged in, the riser plugged in, connected to this wire that's going to be plugged into its power supply. Now the only thing left we have to do is to plug the card into the riser itself, and then use the USB cord to plug the riser into the PCIe lane. when you go to plug the riser in, see how the riser has that spot right there? Little spot, big spot? That corresponds to this right here. Little spot, big spot. And then there's a hook right there, and that hook goes into that spot, and then that clamps it down. It's very important that you plug these in properly. It is possible with certain adapters to plug them in backwards. If you do that, the card probably won't survive. So there, it's nice and secure. Yeah, have that there, locked in. So now all we have to do is take this USB here, plug the USB into this, and then get the card plugged into the rig. Okay, found a light. The light that I actually use, or could use, as sunlight wavelength to dye my tassels with. Okay, so here's the card. Whoa, okay, here's the card. The card is in, zip tied to the frame. You can see it's plugged in there. Goes into the server power supply. And then you can see over here that, yeah, that's the right card. That's plugged in. To the riser, and the riser comes around and is plugged into the splitter. So I've double checked to make sure everything's plugged in right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug those back in. Then I'm going to turn this power supply. Well, actually, you're supposed to turn on the server power supply first, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn on that server power supply. Then I'm going to turn on this power supply. And then we're going to go over to Hive and take a look at it powering up and clock it, and then start the miner up. Alright, the first time I turned it on, it wouldn't notice the card. And so I went up here, worker options, maintenance mode. It was disabled. I put on maintenance mode with loading drivers. That way that when the rig is turned on and it boots up into Hive, it doesn't immediately start mining because it hasn't been clocked yet. So with maintenance mode on and I turned it on, it shows up. I don't know why it's taking on the same clocks as the RX 580, but it is. So here are the clocks that were given to me. I will go ahead and apply those now. It says right here, core 1285. So we'll go into our worker, core 1285, like the card is used to having. Okay, mem is 912. So we'll go to memory clock, and we will put in 912. Okay. Okay, and it looks like we are going with 724, 750, and 1310. So we'll do, I hope I'm putting these in the right places, 724, 750, and 1310. Let's double check that, make sure we're right. We got 724, 750, 1310, 724, 750, 1310. Mem 912, core 1285. Mem 912, core 1285. Our fan we're keeping at 0% as opposed to 95 because I have them set on auto. And we're going to apply this. As you can see, now we're changed here, and it looks like I put them in the right places. 1285, 724, 750, 1310, 912. Those are the same values here. 1285, 724, 750, 1310, 912. So as long as I didn't have to work my way towards those, we should not have a rig crash, and we should be good to go. But I'm going to refresh this page just in case and make sure that we haven't had a crash. Looks like we're good to go. So now I should be able to take us out of maintenance mode, apply, and with a little love from the Father, knowing that we are acting in obedience to Him, we have the confidence to restart the miner. And you can do that right there from right here, miner actions. Same place where you went to stop the miner, you restart the miner. And once the miner is restarted, you can click on the IP address or remote access shell in a box, and it'll bring you to this screen here where you type in, as long as you didn't mess with any of the settings, user as your login, 1 as your password, and then after you've restarted it, you type in miner, and we should be good to go. So let's see how that goes. Okay, we're up and generating the DAG files. So you can see we have all 6 GPUs generating, and now we wait. We watch it do its thing, try to pay attention to what's going on, and as long as all the clocks are right and everything's getting along with each other, after about 15 minutes or so, you should be comfortable with its stability. Then you can wait an hour, 5 hours, a day, a week. And that, my friends, is how to plug in a GPU. The Lord bless you. Thank you for watching. Send me a song and a prayer. Ask that the Father bless me, and I ask that He blesses you. Stay strong, brothers and sisters. Hallelujah.